Have you ever go to a restaurant where the appetizer is fantastic, the main is perfection, and they end up serving you a Walmart ice cream? This is what the single player of Battlefield 6 felt like. It is serviceable, but it's definitely an afterthought. This video will be full with spoilers, but a TLDR will be, you should just skip the single player and you won't be missing much. Let's talk about the actual game first. From afar, just playing through the levels, the game does feel really expensive. There are a lot of grand set scenes and a lot of impressive explosions. But when you start looking at the game closer, you start seeing the cracks. First of all, the character animation. They are just not that good. There are practically zero facial expression, and also sometimes the voice doesn't sync up with the audio. Compared to a game that came out in 2007, the original Modern Warfare of Call of Duty, you see much more facial expression on these characters in Call of Duty than any of the characters in Battlefield 6. On top of that, there are a lot of bugs with animations as well. Sometimes the character eyes will suddenly turn wide open when it should be shut, and sometimes the hand is just clipping through the guns. Overall, the animation just felt really rigid and felt not real. To make things even worse, the game AI is heavily scripted. Sometimes if you play the game too fast, the friendly teammate would just stand there and block the doorway with their gun up. And you have to do the old-fashioned backtracking and trigger the conversation point for them to move forward. Another big thing about this game is breaching. There are a lot of moments where you need to breach through walls or doors. Again, even like a 2007 game, they do something creative like after a breach, the time slows down so you can kill the enemy. In Battlefield 6, after you breach through the wall, nothing really happens. There's no slowing down time. Enemy will just stand there and not even shoot at you with their gun up, and then you just kill them. It just feels really scripted and lazily done. Let's talk about the in-game cutscene. I don't know why every time it enters any cutscene, your camera zooms in a lot. It always felt like something major is gonna happen, like when you get on a helicopter or a car, the camera zooms in and a guy in the car will shoot you in the face, but nada, nothing actually happens, just a random camera zoom because these are pre-rendered cinematics instead of using in-game ones, and they cannot match the camera distance properly. Also, there's a lot of cuts and fade to black in the in-game cutscene, which kind of breaks the flow of the game. It's like when you're watching an Iron Man movie, you see Tony Stark going to a cave, and then the screen turns black. And the next scene you see is him coming out with the OG Iron Man suit. It just feels really weird to watch and breaks my immersion quite a bit. Another question I have is why are some of the later pre-rendered cinematic lag so much? I'm sure it's even lower than like 30 FPS. The game could be running butterly smooth with 150 FPS, then bam, goes into a cutscene and it just lags. It just feels like these things shows that the game is not finished. And the gameplay. The gameplay is not that great either. The gunplay is really good. All the guns are fun to use since they're exactly same as the multiplayer version. However, the gameplay loop just feels very consistent, and it's not in a good way. The loop is basically you're on a non-interactable track for a bit. This might be in a car, in a helicopter, or just the character walking. Then the moment you can use your gun, you get into a combat, kills waves of enemy, and then 10 seconds later you see another wave of enemies, and then you do that over and over again throughout the whole campaign. To keep the loop consistent and constantly wanting to engage the player, enemy will be like at the most random place. The team could blow up a tunnel and fell underground, and bam, enemy is already camping there for some reason. It just makes zero sense sometimes. The only level that kind of breaks up that flow is the one that is more open. It really felt like Metal Gear Solid in the beginning. You spotted a couple locations and you can do it in any order that you want. But because of the design of each fortification, if you can even call it that, you can simply just walk in and throw in the explosive and call it a day. Those locations are just too flat. The enemy fortification needs to be having thin corridors and verticality to it, in which player can deliberately choose to go heads on or maybe kill off some enemy first before pushing in. Also, there's no such thing as playing it sneakily in this game. The moment you shoot a shot, all the enemy AI in the nearby facility starts shooting back at you. You can't really do the assassination that you expect in the modern shooter, in which you snipe kill a couple enemies with a silencer without triggering the whole entire group and slowly push your way through. It just feels so basic and uninspiring. The enemy AI in this game is not smart either. Similar to what I said before, it is just as basic as it gets. They don't really hide that much. Most of the time they will just stand in the open and just shoot at you until you kill them. Higher difficulty doesn't make them more intelligent, it just gives them more damage. Then you might ask, how's the story? Since the whole point of playing a single player campaign is the story itself. All I can say is, it is not memorable. Apparently, the CIA created Pax Armada to unite the people with a common enemy. A cool premise, but nothing is really elaborated on top of it. We just kill a random general of Pax army that used to be a CIA agent or an American soldier. But to be honest, that character, the main villain of the game, was never that threatening at all. Also, this might be like a Milsim trait at this point, but my character is just miraculously left alive over and over again. I don't know why enemy would not just shoot me in the head, but somehow I'm just special, I guess. There's no character like Captain Price that has strong moments. I feel like Battlefield 6 tries to make Hemlock into like Ghost from Call of Duty, since they are kind of both edgy and wearing a mask, but the character is just kind of bland at the end. Enough of the negatives, the campaign does have some positives. The set piece are beautiful, the environment are stunning. Overall, for art, it's definitely reaching the AAA title standard. The first mission is actually really engaging as well, and there are a lot of explosions and cool moments. Oh, and the main cinematic where the team kind of interrogates the CIA woman, those cinematic are very high budget and they're great. The CIA woman kind of get interesting at the end, but her time was kind of cut short. Or maybe we'll see more of her in the future Battlefield game, I'm not sure. But it does feel like the moment she kind of get interesting, playing both sides and all, bam, the game was over. So overall, would I recommend playing Battlefield 6 single player? No. The multiplayer is a masterpiece. Just skip the single player and save yourself some time. Go have fun on the actual Battlefield. Uninstall the single player to save yourself some space. Like and subscribe.